4 hours for this dude to show. I was looking like he was like really there. For yes, I know who Mos Def is. Yes. Yasin Bey, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do. So anyway. Alex says, Mr. Grab him by the pussy himself. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Trump has been there.
Douchebag.
Okay? Test. Dwight, what are you testing? Is I live? Is I here? Charlie says Trump got balls and the women are impressed with money.
And that's what it comes down to. Money is makes the world go round.
I mean, I guess. But is it like, does money have a line? I guess it doesn't, huh? What people can do to you?
Some people, when you come from abject poverty, I mean, and they throw you a biscuit, man, I mean.
And Al says Halle Berry was in the 2000. I'm sorry, was in the Bond movie, A Die Another Day with Pierce Brosnan, and also Madonna did the theme, who played a cameo, Bond fanatic. Yes, Al has seen Bond movies 100 times.
Yes.
And Charlie says it was a backdoor for Bill Clinton, and he was president with Monica L. Damn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was like, I've been there for 26 times, but there wasn't any no bad I didn't see any bad behavior. It's like not one time, Bill. Not one.
But people got to put this stuff together. When Donald Trump got married for the 4th, 7th, 12th time, who was in attendance? Hillary.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, all these people, they're on, you gotta put everything together.
Keep falling for it.
Yeah.
And then Cindy says, I keep asking people, when did NYPD get all this power? You tell us, you live out there.
Well, it depends on the jurisdiction. So if there was a crime committed in that jurisdiction, they get that power.
Right.
Whatever jurisdiction it is. That's why they're piling the shit on him.
Yeah. And Al says, if R. Kelly actually believe he can fly, now will be a good time. Arson says, and it's funny because I wonder who, they're making Space Jam 2, so I wonder who's going to actually do the song, if they're going to do I Believe I Can Fly. We'll see. And Arson says, a friend of mine did meet R. Kelly, and she knows his wife, etc., and she made it clear that R. Kelly is more naive than you could ever believe it. I mean, I believe he's naive, but he's smart enough to know that sleeping with little girls is wrong. I mean, you don't.
Right.
Even if you have the brain of a peanut, I think you know that's wrong. At least you should, especially after you beat a case.
Right. Dealing with that,
and then you go back to doing it. Yeah, that is.
Or you continue doing it.
Yeah, that's just kind of on you at this point for being so stupid, if you will. And Alex says, even in that interview when the guys asked R. Kelly if he liked younger women, he said, how young are we talking about?
Yeah, how young are we talking about? Yeah, that was like, wow. Yikes.
Right. And Cindy says, I have people in Chicago who said it was well known. Yeah, I know a few people too from Chicago who said that it wasn't a secret, that he would go to the school and a whole host of things.
I'm not trying to be religious or anything, but if we read our books, it's supposed to be this way. Right. Toward the end.
And Dwight, I saw your comments, but when the troll patrol came in, the comments disappeared. They were just rolling. So forgive me. A couple of you guys' comments I didn't get, but if you want to repost them, and I couldn't see it from my other phone either, please do, and I'd be more than happy to address it. So I apologize for that. It wasn't an oversight. It's just the trolls came in and you wanted to be seen. And Billy says, is the Mexican raids going on now that we haven't heard any of it anymore?
Well, here in California, it's been nice and quiet.
It has been. It has been.
I didn't hear any mariachi band. I haven't
Not at all.
Nothing.
Yeah, because usually on Saturdays, they begin to crunk in my neighborhood. It's supposed to be, and I guess we can talk about that too. So, yeah, the raids are supposed to be going on in the major cities of New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, all these other places. But the mayors are blocking and telling the police departments do not intervene. But I can't remember which one it was. Was it New York or one of them? Whoever chief of the police fraternal, whatever, blah, blah,
organization,
blah. And saying we need to help our fellow officers. If they need us, then we need to be there to cover if anything happens. So he's like, yo, we
white
going
supremacy,
in.
Right? White supremacy.
So the raids are supposed to be taking place. It sounds like they're supposed to be deporting or finding and deporting 2,000 people.
And notice the raids are taking place in mostly Democratic-held cities.
True. So,
Now, here in California, where me and Demetra live, with a high Hispanic population, Sundays is a big soccer day. They didn't even have soccer at the field today in the parks.
It has been really quiet.
Very quiet out here.
I mean, even in your neighborhood when I was coming up here, it's been very quiet.
Very quiet.
Listen, I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say this. I care about my people.
Yes.
I'm not saying what immigrants are going through is right. I'm not saying that. However, if you are here illegally and they have told you, they being the government, whoever, Trump, whoever,
get your ass out.
The Obama was doing it too. Mm-hmm. So if the government has told you that you will be deported, blah, 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 this, that, and the other, concentration camps, aluminum blankets and all this, and you're getting snatched from the kids, don't come over here. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, however we feel about immigration, it is illegal to come over here. Just like it's illegal to go into your country. Yeah, without the proper documentation. Documentation, going through the proper channels. And so, I often get into this heated discussion with people about, well, it's wrong. We should care about both. I'm not saying we shouldn't care about both, but I'm not going to care about someone else's situation more than I care about my own. Now, I don't want to see anybody separated from their kids, but they got to want to see that more than I want to see it. That's right. And the question I have to say is, where's the humanity in some of those guards? You're seeing these kind of conditions. This person can't even take a shit, excuse my language. Well, I mean, and you're not providing them with what they need. I mean, They do that to people in regular prison. Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying. I know I'm a Christian man, so I'm going to go and take $5 and go get toothbrushes if that's what they need. Well, you got to remember too, slavery was that's true. Slavery was done under the helm of Christianity. Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, me as a personal person today. Yeah, but like you said, look at the nature of the beast you're dealing with. But and that's the thing. People, we got to stop saying, "Oh, let's feel sorry for him." You need to look and realize the captors. These are they're showing you who they are. Well, as my good friend Donovan always says, no, come over here and get all the white man got. Okay, don't try to just come get some benefits and housing and some good ass loans. Come get some racism. Come get some police your head brutality. Come get there's an Anaheim. They shot a Mexican teenager, and now it's like, oh shit. Exactly. It was cool when they was just doing it to the black people, but now they doing it to the Mexicans. It's like, oh, okay, now we need to. Yeah, a friend of mine. Come get all of it. Yeah, a friend of mine texted me about that when that happened. I told him there's a Hispanic caucus that can handle that. Right. We got. I got my own problems because, like I said, I don't see them coming with me into the streets when a black person is mowed down in the street or whatever. So why should I? I have my own problems. Not that we don't care. Yeah, I care, but I got my own problems. And Al says, Die Another Day was a 20th Bond movie, not 20. You can't mess up the James Bond name. Oh, shit. That's it. Charlie says, Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton, president, is it's the 90s all over again. What about Disney abusing little boys and girls in Hollywood while making movies and giving them drugs and hooked on drugs? Yeah, that's just, that is, I think, it's known that kind of stuff is prevalent in Hollywood. Casting couches. Casting couch, what they, Corey Feldman, says that there's a lot of pedophiles in Hollywood. He was going to expose them, and they locked him down. Yeah, I mean, he was a victim. Him and Corey Haim, they were both victims of pedophilia. So he says that's like a known thing in Hollywood. So now it's just coming to the light. Well, let's go back to the 50s and 60s. Your girl Dorothy Dandridge and some of the black actresses there, just to get what were you saying? A role. Just to get a role. They said it was. They kind of went in knowing that we got to do something strange for the change, just to even play a role of a mammy. But I want to know this too, you guys. Where is Me Too? Good point. I mean, are they got a little money from Harvey and now they cool? I mean, why aren't they still on the front lines trying to make sure this dude is locked up? Me Too is another Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. They show for the headline and then they leave. Once you pay them off, then they go. Where's Alyssa Milano and all them other broads that was, leading the helm, trying to get them all, like Pokemon. Right. And Cindy says, yes, Billy. So far, one arrested in the raids. Just one? Yep. I mean, because they're looking to get 2,000 people in there. I was reading an article. They said there's like over 1 million people here illegally, but now they're starting with 2,000, which is less than 0.2 something percent. Yeah. And so Billy says, I think it's bullshit. Do you think that's going on without any bloodshed? So you talk about the raids. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it would have to be any bloodshed.
Unfortunately, there won't be any bloodshed because it's just not going to happen.
Well, my thing is this. Let me ask you this, Billy. I mean, I don't know if there'll be bloodshed or not, but hell, what about the bloodshed of our people?
Yeah. Yeah, and you got to think about
our people shedding blood every damn day, and you don't see. But let me not to cut you off. This is gonna come out really strong because I get accused of having strong opinions, but what's new? I get tired, sick and tired. Not saying this about you, Billy, of Negroes lamenting more about immigrants than they do their own people. Mm-hmm. Hell, like I said, they doing it to black people in the Mexican detention centers and worse.
Right.
And Negroes ain't saying a peep about that. You know what they say? Oh, I didn't know. Well, it's funny.
Now you know what you gonna do.
But you know all the stuff they doing to immigrants over here, but you don't know what's going on with black people in Mexican detention centers. It's your job to find out. And you know why they don't care? And they won't ever tell you because they know you won't go looking for it.
Right, exactly.
They know you don't care. They know that all I got to do is throw them a little talking point. Oh, immigration's they're snatching kids. It's horrible shit everywhere. And then people get mad and they cry and stuff. And I'm like, I'm holding it down for my people first.
Yeah, and then you got to think about this, an illegal aspiration. Illegal people that come up here and take up arms is an invasion and an incursion into another country. So you're talking about an international incident that will make America,
and how
use
about
our
this?
Military.
I read an article today. I can't remember. I think it's Colorado, where people who are protesting the raids and stuff took the American flag, turned it up. They wrote something on it, some profanity or something, and turned it upside down and hoisted up the Mexican flag.
Express yourself.
I mean, I'm saying, so y'all, like, I don't have a dog in the fight about the flag. Well, you know how we feel about the flag, but are y'all cool with that?
Yeah.
Could you go into Mexico and do that?
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're an illegal person in another country and you take up arms, which you're not supposed to have because you're not a citizen, they can shoot you down in the street and there are no charges because you weren't supposed to be there. It's an invasion.
And Charlie says, no one is talking about the Africans in Mexico and Central America camps trying to get in the U.S. They're not going to because it's not on the talking points. It's the media didn't tell them to do it, so they won't do it.
And you got to think about this. We're behind enemy lines, dog. All these black folks down here, if we were awake and knew what was happening to our people, the shit wouldn't be going down.
Right. But we this is so sad.
No, the Jordans. I got to get them new Jordans.
Right, and a lot of these, the representative Presley, whatever her... I saw people taking her to task on Twitter because she was crying at some press conference talking about this breaks my heart.
Yeah, she went to the...
This, that, and the other. And people were like, yo, did it break your heart about the teenager that got his throat slit? Or was you lamenting about that kind of stuff?
Or the innocent black people from your district that are in prison that are killing themselves and whatever. In there illegally or, innocently.
Your priorities are messed up. And then so Cindy says it was New York, it was... the Fraternal Order of Police who said it, but Cuomo said the order was given by me. We are not helping with ICE, and I sign off on your paycheck. Yeah, so there's a lot of governors and mayors that are actually saying that, telling their police forces not to get involved. And Archer says, I'm terribly sorry about the question before. I'm quite sure there's a major misunderstanding here. I personally knew that you knew Most Def. Uh-oh. Oops.
We're still there. There.
Sorry, somebody tried to call me. Okay, he says, you knew I knew who Most Def was. Now, a question for you guys, please. All of these detention centers that people are talking about, did they start before or after Trump? They started before. All these people are calling me. Hold on a second.
The detention centers
you guys stop calling me. I'm going to say this too. This is, I'm going to take a commercial break. Why do people call you on Messenger that you've never spoken to in your whole life?
Right.
Like, that kind of like low-key annoying, especially if you see me on here. Don't call me. I'm not going to answer. And I know I'm somebody who's trying to call me. They need to speak to me, but they know I can't speak to them now. But it's like, don't call me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't. You see, I'm on here. I can't speak.
Do what me and Tay do. Message. That way, it's there.
Right. But yeah. So the concentration camp started. I don't know when they started, but they were.
That started in the Reagan.
Yeah,
years.
But I definitely know they were there during the Obama administration, and so it's not This is not something new with Trump.
A lot of the old military bases
Jonelle.
that were closed in the 90s, especially under the Obama administration, were used as a place to hold facilities for these people.
Right. What's happening, Jonelle? Glad to see you on here. And Cindy says, and speaking of sex trafficking, how many children are missing? Let's ask this, how many of our children are missing?
Right.
How many of our women are missing?
missing?
Lots. And people got I'm going to say the black ass nerve to cry and complain about somebody else's people who are coming over here on their own free will. They're coming over here. We got black women and children who are missing by the hundreds, probably thousands, and nobody's taking up to, in the streets and doing none of that for them. And I say nobody, but I'm saying as much as we are for immigration.
Excuse me, Mr. Mitra K. You are not appalled at that man that took a risk to cross the Rio Grande with his daughter, and she ended up they ended up both dead.
I mean, it's sad that he's dead. Like, I don't want to come off as insensitive. It's sad that he's dead, but it's like,
that's a risk he took.
Yeah, I mean, why is that? And I hate to say this, but why is that our fault? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and of course, a lot of people say, well, it's because the United States is destabilizing their governments, and I believe that is true. In fact, we know there's true. But at the same time, what about the black people that are destabilized here? Right? And then Billy says, I'm not Christian, but I know what is wrong and is right. Well, I mean, you don't need to be a Christian to do that, right? And then Dwight says, California is a separate country in the blue state of liberalism. Yeah, California is very liberal. We know, we live here. Very liberal. And Al says, I had a few Hispanic, I think he meant Hispanic co-workers who just got their papers and citizenship. They have said it was better for their people to do it legally, and you will feel better. Yeah. Now, because imagine you're an illegal immigrant and you hiding out. You scared, because you think somebody's going to come knocking on your door and they're going to come take you,
I have something to add to this conversation. For those of you guys that love my girl Kamala, what was the last thing she said when they asked her, what is the first thing you're going to do when you get in office? What was the first thing?
She said something about immigration.
She said, I'm going to do DACA.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the immigration. And I'm going to do middle class tax cuts.
Right.
Now, how many black people are in the middle class?
Not two?
Yeah.
You and Tay?
Yeah, me and Tay maybe at the most. See, so for all you guys hyping this woman of color, they can't even say black. This woman of color, Tulsi Gabbard is a woman of color.
Right.
She's telling you in your face, she's not here to do anything for you. What? You don't expect me to do anything for what? Black people?
I'm not just going to do something for black people. Yeah.
Come on.
All right, Kamala. And Alex says, exactly. Where is the Me Too? Yeah, they on vacation, maybe in the Bahamas. I don't know. They just letting a whole lot of stuff go on under they watch. Hey, James, she says, how are we going to see any movement or any issues when the Supreme Court upheld gerrymandering? This keeps the South and the Rust Belt hillbilly safe and sound. Very few states up for grabs. 2020 Democrats still don't have a much, you said don't have a march order. Lots of talk, lots of candidates. Yeah.
Right, but look at the candidates. They haven't put up a candidate even good enough to even beat Trump. I mean,
what you mean? Kamala's not going to beat him because she tough and she walks tall and talks tough?
If a white woman couldn't beat Trump, you think a woman of color will?
She ain't going to let him talk to her any old kind of way.
How many white women are going to vote for her? How many white women are going to vote for her?
Probably the same amount that voted for him.
Right, exactly.
But I'm just saying, that's the stuff we hear. She knows how to talk, and her prosecutorial skills, there's no way Trump's going to be able to get around her. But it's like, okay, yeah, she probably got the gift of gab. Yep. Hold her own, but what is she really saying? That's like I put up a thing earlier. People talking about, our ancestors died for us to have the right to vote. No, they didn't. They died so we can actually get some
tangibles.
Shit. It wasn't just, I died. I can hear him saying, imagine what other people saying, hear my ancestors say, well, I died so you could just walk into the booth.
Right.
The booth and do what?
Right. And if you look at what's going on, and that's a good question he put out, but they've already told you, your vote doesn't matter. They don't care. That's why they're courting the Hispanics. They've given up on the black folks.
But they've only given up, but they know they got us.
Yes.
Like, we're arguing with each other, not us. But for the most part, we're arguing with each other and saying, hey, why not get something for your vote this time? Right. Why continue giving your vote to a party that's not giving you anything in return. That's all we're saying. If Kermit the Frog was running and he was offering some tangibles, let's vote for that green so-and-so.
I'm going to give you 50 gallons of flies. It's something.
It's something. But yeah, I mean, some people get mad when you say you're not going to vote. No, I'm not going to be forced into the lesser of two evils shenanigans.
Wait. So if you get mad because I don't vote, are you going to get mad because I don't spend my money on Jordans? I want something for my vote.
Right.
So if I don't get what I want, why should I vote?
You're a terrible person if you don't vote. You know,
lesser of two evils.
Right. Pick one.
Oh no, 4 more years of Trump if you don't vote.
Right.
But what has the Democratic Party, since they've taken over the House, done for black people? Wait a minute. Immigrants got $340 million, no strings attached, to help what's going down the border.
We can't get a peanut or a chitlin.
We get talk about reparations. Right. We're going to talk about it.
And now the Democrats are fighting with each other. Pelosi with the freshmen. And
because she's telling the freshmen, niggas, y'all do what I tell you to do, and you vote the way I tell you to vote. Right. Because a lot of people don't understand it. I have to explain it to my mom.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a closed door thing. The 4 women that are involved.
Yeah.
Here's what actually went down. I wasn't there, but this is pretty much the gist of what went down. A lot of people don't understand what happened. When you've been in power for as long as Nancy Pelosi has been going through the ranks, whatever, she feels entitled because, like I said, ask yourself, what legislation is Nancy Pelosi famous for? 0.
Right.
Her claim to fame.
She raises money?
Yeah, her claim to fame, and she'll tell you, is I raised the most money, so I should be the leader. Okay? The 4 freshman congressmen said they voted against the bill to help the immigrants down there. Not that they were, didn't care and like that. They're saying, what's the point of giving Trump all this money and there's going to be no improvements?
Right. Well, because Nancy's playing along to get along.
Nancy is part of the establishment. She's not going to indict Trump. They're in the same party.
Right.
And this is what they're trying to expose, and they don't like to expose. So what they did was they told them in a closed session, you young folks sit down and shut up and vote the way we tell you.
Right.
And in 30 years, when you work your way through the ranks, then you can be a shot caller.
Well, we know they're not going to do that.
Right. AOC said and Presley said, I'm here to represent my constituents.
Right.
And that's how Congress is supposed to work. I hope they got a lot of protection and keep the coffee covered. Exactly. But that's what went down.
And Dwight says, Me Too is hanging in there. This is too much for them.
I love it.
And Tay says, Me Too is worried about the migrants at the border, not sexual assault. So basically, their interests shift. Mm-hmm. And Jonelle says, right, come get the bias, hypocrisy behind the curtains of the European Zionists on America. Mm-hmm. The injustice from its injustice system. Yeah, come get it all. And Charlie says, illegal is illegal. And they know this, so black or white, send them back. They broke the law. Yeah, I mean, that's whether we like it or not, it's the law. Hell, black people can't even jaywalk without doing a 20-year bid.
Right, and that's bibiblical. Give Caesar his tithes, obey Caesar's laws.
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar. Mm-hmm. And Billy says the only Me Too movement is Serena. Okay? Hey, Jesse, what's happening?
Showing all that ass.
Yeah, I watched the match, too. Yeah. Like, first time I watched TV in a long time.
Yeah, was that a thong she had on?
No.
Okay,
Cindy says, it had... not been quiet over here. Soccer match and a concert in the park.
Okay, all right. Here in California, though, it's been quiet.
Yeah, and Billy says, of course, but I believe that every life is important. No, of course.
No, every life is important.
And every life is important, but, we need to worry about our life first.
We can't be responsible for everybody's situation.
Right, and Arson is laughing. He says, it's true. Where the hell is Me Too? I think it was mentioned on your show so many months ago by me or one of you. Mm-hmm. We are how come we only hear that? That movement when it comes to our people, and will they continue after R. Kelly? Nah, they got R. Kelly.
Yeah, they get done.
Our job's done here.
List check off.
Yes.
Next person.
Want some cappuccino, Betty? Yeah.
Prince, Michael, Bill Cosby.
Right.
We'll just keep going.
And I'll say this: I was in Vegas yesterday for a couple days, and they Mandalay Bay has this Michael Jackson experience.
Shrine. Yeah.
It's a theater. It's a whole production.
Been there.
And people were just lined up, go on in, and then coming as droves of people. I'm like. Obviously, that was a failure. They tried to get rid of Michael, but Mandalay Bay was like, shit.
Yep.
And let's see. And then Tay says, meanwhile, Sadie Roberts Joseph was murdered and left in her trunk, and it didn't
Yes.
get any traction in the mainstream media
Yeah,
until
I read
today.
that yesterday.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
one of the, I guess, creators of the African American Museum in Louisiana.
Yeah, in Baton Rouge, somewhere
Yeah.
down there.
I mean, I saw it, but I mean, that's where our concern should be for our people. This lady was in her 80s. You know, she's
Massive
doing
hurricane
good for the community.
Supposedly ripping through Louisiana,
Yeah, right.
and you barely got any.
As we speak, there's, you know, potential Hurricane Katrina Part 2.
Everybody's watching the Wimbledon.
Yeah, right. I saw pictures of black people, you know, wading through waist deep water with their children and stuff. I'm sure not just black people, just the pictures I saw. Where's the outcry for those people? But yeah, we are concerned with sending money and all kind of stuff to or aid to other people who come from a different country. But we got people over here who need it, a drink of water.
Right.
You know, and we busy worried about other people.
Did this major categoric storm, and no additional money was sent to FEMA. No preparation was done. After the first time it happened.
And then Billy says, if they're doing that to Mexicans, they'll do it to us. Well, let me flip it around. They're doing that to us.
They're
now
already
they're doing it to
it.
Mexicans.
Yeah.
That what they're doing to Mexicans is nothing new. You know, I don't live in Louisiana, but I've heard a lot about Angola. And that sounds worse than any, you know, detention center.
Angola doesn't have a fence on one side of it because it's the back is the swamp. So if you're a prisoner, you want to go that way, there has not been a prisoner
That's your
yet.
ass.
Has not yet.
Right. And Jonelle says it's going to be blood in the streets up to the horse's bridle, right? We bleeding still, just because we need to be in the mind of doing for self and black unity as a nation within a white nation of oppressor. Yeah, I mean, that's just like
you're behind enemy lines.
Like, people really get mad at me when I say those things. We need to be thinking about us first. Oh, that's inhumane. Oh, you know, how dare you?
No, that's human nature.
Like, no, you just need to let go of the butter biscuits.
Yeah.
Just cut the butter biscuits in half because I'm a ride for mine first.
That's human nature. You take care of home first.
Alice wants to know where's Tommy Lauren in all of this.
Yeah, my girl Tommy Lauren.
Well, I just want to know, why is she even relevant? You know, all you gotta do is have blonde hair, blue eyes, and just and you know, and people love you. You know, and then Cindy says, Charlie, I agree with you. If you were deporting Africans and Haitians and Mexicans, deport those Russians who are having babies in Miami, Tampa, and Orlando. They're having babies in those hospitals.
Yes, but no.
And who's paying for it? Us. Those Trump's homies.
Yeah, they're European white.
Right. Right, ain't nobody saying nothing about that. Right. I wonder if they gonna go kick in the doors of the hospitals and put them out.
Yeah, my mom said something to me last night about that. It's called it's like a white extreme thing. I forgot the term. I can't remember it right now. It'll come to me. But it's a way where you separate the races by political whiteness or something. It's
Cindy says, could it be the trolls calling you? It could be. One of them. I know who the one is, but one of them, yes, probably. And Al says, the show is buffering again. That's because somebody was calling me. Like, you know, Arthur says, and about your own black Americans caring more for immigrants than their own people, I think in a way they're still not shaken enough or aware enough of how urgent the need of change. Of change in their own community is. They're either asleep or grossly uninformed, maybe misinformed, but what more needs to happen to wake some of you guys up and make yourselves your own priority? So he's in Canada, so that's why he says yourself. I mean, we just got to keep, as I say, the job of the resurrector is to wake up the dead. We got to keep resurrecting people, keep the message before
New black
people.
media.
Yeah, just keep the message before people so people finally say, okay, I understand, and not in a hostile way.
Yeah.
A lot of times we try to force feed people stuff, and that's not the way to do it. You just got to do it in a way that's palatable to the receiver.
Yeah,
right?
you know, and in the case of Kamala Harris, if it wasn't for the black media putting her record out there, a lot of people would be...
just...
Yeah, because right now...
That's my girl!
Yeah, right now they said Kamala's number 2 in the polls. Come to find out, she didn't get a bump or nothing in the polls. She's still sitting at number 3. But
that's the narrative they want everybody to believe.
Push that.
Right.
They want to push that. But when people found out her record, how can you vote for a woman who was locking up people because their kids were truant?
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't...
Well, she said she didn't do it.
Yeah, it was her office. But if it's your office, that means you're responsible.
Right. Well, that's the way I take it. And Cindy says, I forget the state. You see the black teen who drowned and his organs were missing. I haven't heard about that.
I'm going to look that up.
And Jonelle says, stock food, water, etc. Yes, you were telling me that yesterday. Be ready to move around. These natural disasters are not playing with no one. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. It's clearly war that's going on all fronts. And we must be keen and aware of all levels. Consider the time. Absolutely. You, like my father always says, store your water, store your food. It's going down. As you guys know, in California, we've had 6.9 earthquake. Was one of the biggest in a very long time. And had them here and there in between. So will we have the big one? Probably.
You know, a lot of my friends ask me, they go, how can you live in California with earthquakes? I said, well, how do you live in the South with annual hurricanes?
Right, and floods.
And we have this saying. This is what I live by. Earthquakes are like Jesus. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
I like that.
You know what I mean? So if it happens, it happens.
Right.
You know?
And Charlie says 37 million Americans need food assistance. This is more important than illegal.
Yes,
Mexico,
thank you.
What about black women missing? Recently, the nonprofit and Black and Missing Foundation compiled statistics from the FBI, which noted that in 2016 alone, 242,295 individuals of color were reported missing in the United States.
And nobody's looking for them.
Where's the outrage?
Exactly.
Where's the outrage?
There is none. A black life is worth less than $5.
That's all I want to know, y'all. Where's the outrage? You know? That many people, almost a 250,000 people are missing. And where's the outrage?
Right. There was a report when they're talking about black wealth. They said that the black wealth compared to the average white person is what, 100 in... It's
almost nothing.
Yeah, it's almost nothing, basically. I mean, we have less like the $100. Right. Basically, compared to...
I think, if I'm not mistaken, black wealth is somewhere around...
$3 trillion versus...
collectively. They, per household, I think it's like 13,000 compared to their 100 and something thousand on average. Yeah. So the White says Kamala Harris is just fine. Tax cuts are great for people that make more than 15 million.
150,000.
I think maybe he meant that.
Yeah. But okay. So let's say she gives a middle class tax cut. Let's just say hypothetically, right? How many of us are in the middle class?
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do the math.
Do the math.
And Alex says, me too, sure cared about switching gears with LeVar Ball. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Molly Querum and made up some mess on him, talking about us to stay focused. Like, girl, please. Cindy says, why do you think most of us are not in the middle class?
Right. Oh, why do I think most of us aren't in the middle class? Because the system is set up to deny us the wealth. I think I put that meme up today.
Yeah.
The system is designed to keep us from the wealth that we've invested from our heritage.
Right. We'll all be at Walmart as people greeters at the age of 80.
Yeah, it's a systematic system denied to black people of our wealth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and there is a system. And a lot of people, you know, I don't know why they don't believe it, but there is a system designed to keep black people from being wealthier, like you say, even in the middle class. And Tay says Kamala won't even say that she's black. Yeah, she struggles with that. And Jonelle says, more people are being lost than all in the wars combined due to this nation truly being the valley of the shadow of death. How close is a shadow to you? Consider the time. Very good analogy.
I need to borrow that.
And then Cindy says, Kamala for our Attorney General.
Don't be surprised. She is the right arm of white supremacy.
She might. Well, she was the AG here.
You know, in the next Trump administration, she'll probably accept it.
I wouldn't doubt it. Because that's what people say. They sound that she sounds more conservative than anything.
Donna Brazile, where is she at right now?
At Fox News.
Fox News. I mean, everyone's
get those butter biscuits.
Yes,
And Alex says Donovan sounds like me. And Al says, what is going on with the show? It's buffering again. I have keeps starting my phone. I don't know, Al. Maybe it's your phone. I don't. No one else is saying that it's buffering.
Al, the flip phone. I think you need to upgrade, brother.
And the flip phone.
You got to upgrade that flip phone.
And,
I know you love your girls. But you got to do something for yourself too, bro. Do something for yourself.
Dwight says Nancy Pelosi known for getting votes for the Obama Affordable Care Act. Okay. And Tay says Nancy is getting dragged on Twitter. People are livid that she hasn't pushed for impeachment. Now that Trump told the freshmen people of color to go back to where they came from. I saw that article right before I came here. Now,
how can you give Nancy Pelosi credit for the ACA, Affordable Care Act, when the Democrats were the majority.
Right.
So how hard would it be to gather enough votes to do that?
Right. And so you said I need something more from her than a shady hand clap.
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He told the 4 freshmen to go back to where they're from, and all except for one, Omar. The rest of them are born here.
Right.
And hey, Dr. G, what's happening? So Pelosi has been in politics since 1987. Not sure if she has been in Congress that long.
She's been in Congress over 30 years.
Yeah, well, 87. That's
and okay. And I challenge all the listeners out there: name me one legislative bill or law that has Nancy Pelosi's name on it.
Can't do it right now, brother. Mm-hmm. And Cindy says, Donovan, let's say Nancy did indict Trump. Mm-hmm. What happens next? Is he going to jail?
No, absolutely not going to jail. But that does not negate her from doing her job. That doesn't negate her from doing her job.
Stop playing, Nancy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really about the life. You know?
Right.
And James says, classism tells you what racism is. Pelosi is a perfect example. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Jonelle says, black people are not respected in politics, divided and broke, especially ignorant. The throne of politics on this nation don't respect its economic drips. It's owned and ran by the foreign ones whom print their revenue, so their politics and policies will never be for us nor principle. Never ever for us to keep expecting that to be the case. We will keep waiting, right? Mm-hmm. And so let's see here. Dwight says that was Wednesday's raining floods. Wednesday raining flooding New York. Yeah. I mean, not New York, New Orleans. From what I understand, isn't it still raining?
Yeah, it's still raining. My mom lives in Slidell, which is about 20-30 minutes outside of New Orleans, and it's supposed to be flooding. And some of the, thank God that they've upgraded a lot of the system where the pumps are working, but there's still flooding going on in certain areas. You mean they didn't blow
up the levees this time?
No, they didn't blow them up this time. So,
and Jonelle says they're using R. Kelly for their agenda to push their underage policies to abuse children. Mm-hmm. You got a white presidential candidate that's an open pedo promoter. Yeah, I saw that. Some guy, he admitted that he's a pedophile, and I can't remember the guy's name, but I did read that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I was looking to see the source. I was like, was it CNN? Mm-hmm. I'm like, supposedly reputable source. And Charlie says, Kamala and Acosta and Warren and Sleepy Joe and Bernie out. Maybe Andrew Yang. They call him the Yang Gang. He has a plan, but they will never let him speak about his plan. Even his family has to have. They said every family has to have $1,000 a month to uplift American standards. So that's his universal basic income plan to give every American 18 and over $1,000 a month.
Right, and they don't want to do that because it'll lift a lot of people out of the so-called poverty line.
Right,
and it's and then they won't be able to explain. Well, if you make $25,000, you're in poverty.
Right.
So
because $1,000 for a lot of people might mean the difference of them not having to call the light company every month. Can I get an extension? God forbid. Right. And so Dwight says anchor babies. Anchor babies are that. I'm sure you know. That's when people from a different country come over here and have a baby, and so now they are here legally, basically, kind of because the child is.
Let's say Melania Trump. Melania Trump, she isn't technically an anchor baby, but she was an anchor that brought her parents here.
Correct.
And they became citizens while Trump was president.
And the White says Kamala is number 3 or is number 3 or number 4, right?
But the news media, the establishment news media was like, oh, she's number 1 and she passed Biden in the polls and she's so strong and it looked like she broke out and she's the one to beat.
That's actually having a big surge is Elizabeth Warren. Right. And Al says to eliminate calls so the show doesn't continue to get disrupted every week. Put it on, do not disturb. I can't do that. It's not calls, it's Messenger. People are calling me on Messenger. Yeah, that's what's going on. And Jonelle says the lion stinks for the lions, birds stinks for the birds. We only look like good slaves being anti-self-preservation, not looking out for ourselves. First, in the word preservation, you have the word serve. I said, we only fools not serving ourselves first. Whites don't think to serve nobody but themselves first. Self is first and others. Only slaves try to go others before self. Yeah, that's what Malcolm X is pretty much saying when he was talking about the house, the difference between the house Negro and the field Negro. Mm-hmm. He said the house Negro be like, is we sick, massa? You know, talking about when his house is burning down, the house Negro was trying to fan out the flames.
Harder than the master.
But he said the field Negro was like, I wish it burned.
Burn down. Yeah. He's putting gasoline on it.
Right. And Dwight says the United States is great with their earthquakes, fires, floods, tornadoes, and hurricanes. Some would say it's man-made.
Yeah, but like I said, I look at stuff and I look at the Democratic Party and I say it's so funny how they can come up with millions of dollars for other people and other things.
Right.
And then when it comes to black people, there's no money. It's a discussion.
Or let's just even say homeless people.
Right.
Somebody they tried to get you on your page, but I got them.
Yeah, okay.
I got them.
Yeah, okay.
They talking about. You were saying something about they have money. It was the one about people are homeless here,
right?
But yet they're sending money to the immigrants,
and
then people are like, "Oh, they're not one and the same." It is one and the same because how you sending money to somebody else to eat in a different country? You got people laying on the streets,
your own citizens,
begging for food here in your own home country. How do you do that? So don't worry, I got them. I got them together.
Yeah, but the same issue with black people. I mean, why isn't anybody outraged that they can go in there and vote $340, no questions asked,
most people
no
don't even know they did that. So if they don't know, how could they be mad?
But now you know.
But I'm saying, even if they do know, it's like, well, they need it.
Yeah, but okay, now you know. Where's your outrage?
Right. Will that work?
Yeah, works for me.
Charlie says black wealth lost 60% in the 2008
yes, they did.
Crash. And how much wealth did we even have then?
Right.
We thought we were getting so well because we got these houses, but a lot of us were sold the subprime mortgages, these big giant balloon payments.
And isn't it funny that the white millionaires doubled under 8 years of Obama?
Right. And so to your point, we lost all that wealth, especially in the real estate. We thought we was buying this little piece of something, And then we know what happened with that. The White says, what is middle class? Education and income of over 20,000.
200,000.
Yeah, is he saying 200,000 or 20,000? I guess 200,000.
Okay, wait. No. What is education and income over four over 20,000?
Maybe do you mean 20,000?
Yeah, I know it has to be 200,000 because the baby.
that's what I mean. 20,000.
Yeah, 200,000 because 20,000 is near poverty.
And Loretta says, no, she, Harris, will not be Attorney General under Trump. And I should say to you guys, Dr. G is a staunch Trump reporter.
Okay.
You will not say nothing bad about Trump, okay?
Hey,
she got his back.
Hey, I have nothing against Trump other than he's a douchebag, but for the vets... Yeah. But for the vets, he's throwing all kinds of money.
He came through for the vets.
I even wrote him a letter and saying, or sent him an email and said, it would be good for you to open up March Air Reserve Base strategically because it makes no sense to have no air mobility in Southern California and you've got 3 major military installations of infantry fighters and Marines that have no way to get out.
Did he respond?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
But he will. Election time's coming.
Oh, okay. Because the Duke of Edgemont need his answers.
That's it. But think about it. If he did that, you know how many military-affiliated people would turn and vote for him?
And for those of you on the podcast, if we forget to sign off with you guys, we'll talk to you next week. And Al says, post on your wall along with pre-notification, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I would tell them. Al. It's really not even a normal occurrence.
For those that don't know, Al is an executive producer.
Yes, right.
he's
Word.
Yes.
And I don't even know why it's doing that now, because normally, I guess I've never had anybody try to call me while I'm on here, so I don't know why it's doing that. But Al has, he gets annoyed about certain things. Yeah. Yes, executive producer.
Executive producer credit.
And Cindy says, we are missing the fact the House has to impeach him, and the Senate has to vote to remove him. The Senate already said they are protecting and voting against him,
and that's fine.
And Tyler will. I guess you're saying Trump will use that.
Right, no, and that's fine. But see, if you go through the impeachment in the House, or not in the Senate, when the stuff comes out and the American people see it for themselves, those senators that voted might not be senators after the fact. Right.
Well, at least, like you said, at least do your job.
Do your job.
At least start it, so nobody will blame you.
Right. Do your job.
And then you also say, Donovan, do you remember back then you need 60 votes for the Affordable Care Act? They changed it afterwards, which is why the DNC is screwed now.
Yeah. And that's something that they need to stop doing. Leave the rules in place. It shouldn't even be 60 votes. Anything that should be over 50. If there's 50 senators, whatever, they should just leave it alone.
Right.
But whoever gets in power, they change it so they can be all...
So they can stay in power.
Yeah, stay in power, and it's stupid.
And CD says, you playing with the devil that you don't know.
Yeah.
And Jonelle says, we are not going to make any true progress until we as black people move in unity, until we, as Torre said, organize. You don't make any true changes without unity and order.